his grid slot. So the only driver that hasn't got a teammate tonight, well, we'll get onto that in a second. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. A long hold on the lights. His lights are away we go, and Bunny's got a drive through. He's jumped the start. And that is, well, it's the worst possible track really to have a jump start at. Through the first corner then, it's Tooman looking to go around the outside of Colker, but it's not quite worked out for him there. And Colker manages to keep the position, but Bunny has really made a massive blunder there, jumping the start. Clock's challenging Tooman through turn 5 as they come down the back straight. It's a little bit scrappy behind, although it looks like they've just gone through okay. Oh no! Going to go for the move. He had a look. It's all sort of kicking off behind. We've got the Mercedes battling one another. What is going on?
I've seen Southerners side by side with Lewis, and he's been squeezed into that right-hand kink on the straight, which is more of a corner in the wet. And then he started ghosting through everyone, so I'm not quite sure what happened there. I think everyone's escaped without damage somehow. But yeah, it was pretty scary on my screen to watch. But I don't think that was actually what was happening for the drivers.
Well then, Bunny, he'll need a safety car to get himself back into this race because he's going to lose about 30 seconds with that drive-through. Riggsy's just gotten past Monkey, so the McLaren of Riggsy back ahead of Monkey. He's up into P8 now. Brindy Boy as well battling with Clock. So Clock's already lost a position to JH. I don't quite know how he lost that, but he's going to lose another one as well. Both the Mercedes then making gains. They both managed to get past the Alpha Tauri of Clock. He's got Riggsy behind him. Pretty close behind. It's sort of front wing to rear wing at the moment. And Czech and Bunny have already pulled away quite a bit. So, well, Colker's got a work cut out somewhat here. Czech needs, Bunny needs to be careful that a safety car doesn't come out, because otherwise he won't be able to serve his drive-through, and then he will get disqualified. We got Riggsy having a little look down the inside of Clock. Not quite worked out for him here. Timing boards are messing up, so apologies for that. It's a weekly thing that we should be accustomed to by now, really. We've got a battle going on behind. Southerners is battling here with the both the Alfa Romeos and Liam. And Liam hits the wall there, coming out of turn 5. Slight brush of the wall. I don't think it would have given him damage, but it's giving him a bad run down the straight. Southerners having a look, but he's not going to be close enough. And we got Monkey having a little look at the inside of his teammate as well, but it didn't quite happen for him there. But it's all kicking off in the lower midfield. Southerners really having to turn for these corners to keep it out of the walls here, because it's not only obviously the wet weather, it's going to be the dirty air as well that will be affecting these drivers.
Czech getting a bit loose out, I guess, in the net lead. Colker and Tooman are right behind
Liam's
as
hit
well.
The wall again, Jam. Liam's hit the wall again. Again, I didn't see any damage come off of the Williams, but Liam's already making friends with the wall here. Not going to be close enough this time as soon as he's got both the Hasses behind, so Lil Willy's made up a few positions off the start as well. Fair play to him, because he's not actually driven a lap yet this evening. So, well, that's pretty impressive from the Haas driver, making up those positions. Zenon already getting a time penalty for multiple warnings. Bunny's probably going to come in and serve this. Oh, we've got an Alfa Romeo in the wall. Monkey's in the wall at the grandstand
Bunny
section.
stayed out as well.
I told you it was a tricky corner in the wet. Lewis O'D as well picks up a time penalty. I told you it was a tricky corner in the wet, and that lockup might put you in the wall. And well, that's been the case, as Bunny's really extending his lead. So that drive-through was so unfortunate for him, because it looks like he's got some really strong pace here. The field's already starting to spread out here, as Guna's sort of found himself in a bit of no man's land. Brindy Boy looking very fast out here as well, Jam. He's just set the fastest lap of the race.
Oh, those Monkeys now retired in the pits. I would have liked to have seen him.
Oh, it's all kicking off out front, Jam.
Oh,
Tooman having a look at Czech. Tooman and Czech going side by side into turn 7. And the Racing Point just squeezes the Red Bull out.
Czech's lost 2
Tooman
positions
gets
in. Oh,
position
Czech's missing
good.
his right end plate, Harry.
Oh no.
I was going to say,
Well, that would explain why
yeah.
he's lost time.
Lost 2 positions in the space of 30 seconds. And now Brindy Boy's going to get him as well. So Czech is flying down the
Brady
order.
Boy's got him. Good move from the Mercedes driver as well. He needed to make that to be able to stick with the top 2 as Tooman gets a little bit of a tank slapper out of the chicane there. Are we going to see JH go for the move on the Red Bull next? Czech is kind of
We've got
dropping
the
like
two Hasses side by
potatoes
side
here.
further back. This is going to end in tears. So close to the wall there. I think they both escaped that damage somehow. That was hairy stuff.
So Bunny's lead out front, almost 3 seconds, but he is going to have to serve his drive through this lap. Was that Monkey just leaving the session there? I didn't
Yeah, it
quite
was.
see. Alright, so don't need to worry about inviting anyone back just yet. Guna's trying to catch up to that pack out the top 10 really, and he's just about doing it. But the gap really after that to Liam is, well, it's pretty big, and I think Southerners is starting to get held up a little bit behind Liam. So Bunny comes in to serve his drive-through. That will hand the lead of the race over to the other Renault of Colca. And yeah, Southerners is pretty much pushing Liam now.
Czech staying out
corners.
despite pretty heavy damage, and JH is going to make a move for 4th place.
You know what? Bunny's not actually going to come out too far behind this pack, I don't think. So he's not out of it, and he's clearly got some decent pace. Because we've got a yellow flag there. We've got... Oh, Lewis has just gone massively down the inside of Southerners. I didn't see that coming. Just out of nowhere, really. Southerners overtaken by the Haas of Lewis. So yeah, Bunny does come out just off the back of Jib Jab, who's down in 17th. But Bunny's got some good pace, so he might be able to make up a few positions back. And I wonder if Southerners is struggling a bit. Has he disconnected, Jan?
I'm
Because
not
Predator's
sure.
right on the back of him.
Yeah, he's got
And
the red
X
next
above
to
his name here. And Predator makes contact with him, and now he's ghosting, and now his car's just gone into the wall. I don't know what is going on. I think Southerners is obviously having some sort of connection issues, so that is a horrible look for him. But we'll kind of have to carry on, I guess, for now, as it is. We've got Colca nearly out of, well, DRS, I guess it will be nearly out of a second range to Tooman. Of course, when DRS gets enabled, that will be important to know.
Yeah, I think that
Even in the racing point, though, purple through the middle sector.
I think that instant was just decent, unfortunately. From what I saw, Preds kind of just ghosted through him, and Southerners was all of a sudden backwards in the wall. So yeah, really unfortunate for the championship leader, but I think yeah, just down to desync, unfortunately.
What's happened to Wiggy as well, Jam? Because he's dropped back a bit as well.
I honestly couldn't tell him it, but I haven't noticed, I'm afraid.
Oh,
Probably has
Wiggy's
damage.
perhaps gotten damage or something.
Yeah,
JH and
Wiggy's missing a lot of win.
well, JH, sorry, has gotten past Czech. We missed that. JH has gotten past Czech.
No,
And
we
now
didn't miss
Czech
that.
is really just holding up the basically everyone from P6 downwards, as we've got a yellow flag. We've got a Haas now in the wall where Monkey crashed a few laps ago. So Wiggy is, well, I kind of jinxed him, didn't I? So there we go. After saying he made a good start.
Simmons right on the back of Colca
We
as
got
well,
the
Aaron.
the top 3 running nip and tuck, really.
But Brindy Boy setting another fastest lap just then, so he's looking very pacey.
Yeah, the top 3 running very close to each other here. This is going to be tough, I think, for Colca now. She's got the pressure from behind, and it's really about keeping the guys behind whilst making no mistakes and keeping it out of the walls. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult, it has to be said. But the one thing that she has got to her advantage is, just again how difficult it is to overtake around here. As yeah, there is a gap now forming from Czech to that top 4. We've got a Haas in the pits. Southerners isn't really out of the race at the moment. He's running at the back with Jib Jab and Bunny, but one safety car will get them all right back into it. Ranga is going side by side with McEwen then into turn 14. McEwen having a look, but Ranga just keeps ahead for now. A good defending there from the Red Bull driver.
Oh, Brindy Boy! Oh, we almost hit the wall like a few of us have already done in under the grandstand. He was literally
Oh,
inches
someone has
away.
Jam. Clock's done it, Jam. Clock's just hit the wall. And that has caused a little bit of a ruckus there. A few guys getting caught up somewhat. Riggs up to 6 now, Ranger 7 with Q and 8. Clock's dropped down to P9. And I wonder if he's gotten damage or whether he just went a bit deep. I didn't quite see whether he did make contact with the barrier or not. But he's getting a tank slapper as well out of the final corner. Just saw there him losing the back end. JH is catching up to this top 3. So Kolka, I think, is actually being a little bit of a roadblock for some of these top guys, as in fact Tuman is now right behind Kolka once again as they go on board with the racing point. But because they're all running such high wings and without DRS, there's not really going to be much of a way past.
No, it's just showing how difficult.
If we look in terms of ERS as well, Jam, they're not really using much of it at the moment either.
No, you don't really use any in the wet, or it's very easy to save. But yeah, they're so close together, but it's just showing how difficult it is to overtake around this circuit. Tuman's been pretty close, within 4 or 5 tenths for the last couple of laps now, going down Raffles Boulevard, but just not gaining enough with those high wings, as you said, to make a move.
Tuman seems to have a lot of confidence in the braking, actually. That does seem to be where he's gaining quite a bit of time to the Renault of Kolka. But unfortunately now, quite a lot of these guys are already starting to catch up to this train as they make their way past Czech. Although, having said that, Czech has kind of established himself in P5 for the moment. Just an update on some of the guys towards the back. Silly Bunny is actually catching quite considerably on Zenon, and then Zenon is not too far off basically the rest of the field. And so Bunny's got some strong pace and might be able to make his way back into the race. Has the rain stopped as well, Jam?
Yeah,
I can't see any rain.
I was literally just about to say, mate, I've just realised all this action that's been going on. The rain stopped, the track's looking pretty dry, so we could see
I reckon it's only going to be a couple of
laps.
laps.
Yeah, I was going to say a couple of laps and we could see some dry running. Although having said that, the track's conditions are obviously still pretty good, as J's setting the fastest lap of the race.
Rixie's got the run on Czech. Out the final corner, he's going to get the move done. I think down into turn 1, they're going to go side by side here. The McLaren against the Red Bull. Rixie's got the inside line and he gets the move done. Nice move there from Rixie, getting past the limping Red Bull there. Czech with half a front wing, remember, or at least missing an end plate. So he'll have a severe lack of downforce, and in the wet, that is not what you want. Now I wonder if Czech's going to let his teammate through. He's got Ranga now next up in the sister Red Bull.
Sorry to put in, but Tuman's going to look for a move on the outside of turn 8. I think this is for the lead. Kolka made a big mistake at the end of the straight.
Yeah, he's got it done as well.
Yeah,
and
Tuman's made the move.
Now the question is, who's going to gamble and make that call and go for the slicks? There is a dry line emerging, but there's still a lot of wet patches on the track and a lot of spray coming off of the tyres. I don't think it's quite ready yet. Maybe a lap or two.
I think one more lap and then it'll be good. If not this lap, it's looking pretty dry already. I think it could, although Wiggy's just set another fastest lap. So maybe
Czech needs to think about letting his teammate through as well, I think, Jam. Considering he's got damage, all he's going to do is hold Ranger up considerably, not only in the pits, but also out on the track while they're still running.
I think next lap it'll be dry. We'll be seeing people diving in at the end of lap 8, I should think.
I wouldn't pit right now.
No. Yeah,
but yeah, as you say, it's getting close, it's getting close.
Just highlighting Tuman's pace already, this gap that he's pulling out, he's already a second ahead of Kolka, so by the time the DRS is enabled, Kolka won't be getting it, unfortunately.
Well, unless she gains time in the pits or something. But yeah, as you say, Tuman has pulled away quite a bit already. So what would you do in terms of tyres, Jam? Because going from a wet to a dry track, there's going to be a lack of grip. The track's going to be green. It's not really going to be suitable for the hard compound tyres, but the hards are the tyres that you need to be on to make it to the end of the race.
Yeah, that's a very good question. I hadn't thought about that actually. Still wouldn't touch the softs just because of the overheating. I think I'd probably. I think I'd probably go hard, to be honest.
Czech's got wing damage. He's ran wide coming out of turn 5, and now his teammate's coming through. Ranga then, he's got the outside line, but he gets the move done there pretty comfortably. So Ranga up into P6 around the outside at time 7. The question is, do you go onto the mediums and then try and pull out a bit of a gap and then go for the softs at the end for the safety car, or go for another set of mediums? Because most of these guys will have 2 sets of mediums as well.
Yeah, I was going to suggest potentially mediums, but I think if you lose 27, 28 seconds in the pits, it's probably just not worth it, and it's so difficult to overtake. As
Wiggy retiring in the pits.
Yeah.
Interesting enough, Jam, Bunny's made his way already back onto the back of Zenon. Maybe it's worth it if you're Bunny or someone going for the dries now and gambling. I don't know. I still don't think it's dry enough.
I think being as far down as he is, it would have to be a 1-stop. But yeah, I mean, it could be worth it. Yeah, my prediction of at the end of lap 8 pitting for dries doesn't look like it's gonna be happening as Tooman carries on for another lap.
I guess the other thing is as well, it's a really long pit lane around here. You do lose about 30 seconds or so. Tooman just sets a 55.8 fastest lap.
Already 3.4.
So it's going to be one of those where 2-stop really isn't worth it just because of how much time you lose in the pit lane. I think it's getting close. It's getting close to the dry tyres. Kolka's definitely struggling because Tooman's pulled out a 3.5 second lead in just a couple of laps here.
Suns need to safety car as well, right?
Yeah, this is really big for the championship.
Yeah, still going.
Has Southerners got back in then, do you think?
I don't think he ever left.
Do you know?
He's definitely driving. I'm pretty sure it's him driving. He's still going around with no wing though. He's going to be the first to switch onto the dry tyres. This will be interesting.
Yeah,
to
he's
see
got
what
a gamble, I
the
think,
like.
in that position.
Well, yeah, he's got nothing to lose. He needs the safety car ready to get him back in this race.
I guess as well he can be a little bit of a guinea pig perhaps for some of the others that he might be.
Could be a guinea pig for his teammate, although seeing as they're championship rivals, maybe not the best thing to do. As yeah, he goes onto the hards. He'll be taking them to the end bar any issues. Tooman's still going quicker though, so maybe it's still not quite time for the dries. Although, having said that, it doesn't look wet at all. There's a tiny bit of spray, but surely that won't affect them too much if they were to put on a set of the dry tyres at the end of this lap.
Oh, Zenon losing the car, and Bunny's got the run on him here. I think this could be an overtake. Change of position. Bunny up into P14. He gets past the McLaren of Zenon, and now it's 6.5 seconds to that big train from P5 to P13. So Bunny still really isn't out of this. Zenon just picking up a penalty there. Bunny isn't out of this. He could still get points in this race. He's obviously got some pretty decent pace, and he's not too far off that big train. And that's points really just up the road. McEwen and Ranga battling. Ranga's pitting, Jam.
Yeah, I think it could just about be dry enough. Although having said that, Suns is still struggling quite a bit. I've been asking if we can see the tyres, please, Harry. Yeah, Ranga going on to hards as well, but yes, Southerners is struggling a lot. It might be a tad too early still. Although, having said that, no spray coming from his car. Could have been a perfect.
I think it might be
Ranga.
this lap, Jam. I think it might be this lap.
Could be brilliant timing from the Red Bull driver.
JH is right up behind his teammate now, and he's got twice as much ERS. But if you're Brindy Boy, do you really want to be letting your teammate through when you're just about to pit? I'm not sure you do. So we could see perhaps a bit of a on-track battle here between the Mercedes brewing. Tooman now, he's extended his lead to over 5 seconds. I think if Tooman stays out this lap,
it's still wet.
You've got to gamble now. You've got to gamble and go for some slick.
It's still wet. Jibjab's just got past Ranga, who he just came out the pits, so I think it is still intermediates.
It's close, but I think you're right. They're starting to actually lose time now compared to their fastest laps as well, some of these guys. So I think it is getting towards the slicks. But I don't think it's quite dry enough yet. How many laps do you reckon the mediums can do?
I reckon you could probably nurse him to the end, but the sort of drop off with losing grip in the rears especially happens from about 7-8 laps into the stint.
Yeah.
So I think
I'm just thinking though,
Tuman's
obviously
pitting
you
high.
get
Tuman's
such a
pitting.
big advantage anyway, and Colker pits as well.
JH
JH
carries
having to
on.
stay out as his teammates pitted.
I
To be
think
honest,
it is dry
a
now.
pretty
I
good
think
call
it is
from
dry.
JH.
No, DRS
Oh,
enabled.
DRS enabled. Oh, and Clocks nearly ran into the back of Czech going into the pit.
I tell you though, JH had to stay out because Brindley Boy pitted.
Yeah, he did. You're right.
That's just
Everyone
really
going onto the
unlucky for
hards as
JH.
well. And oh, Riggs is changing his wing jam. So Kolka's managed to stay ahead of Brindy. Tuman's losing time though to JH. I wonder if it is wet enough yet. It's an interesting one really. Or dry enough yet, sorry. Definitely an interesting one because these guys will be struggling on the hards as they warm up.
I think Ranga pitting that lap earlier than everyone else has lost him quite a lot of time. I can't really tell. Yeah, he's out behind
Jib Jab
McEwen and he was ahead of.
Stayed out as well, Jam. So that's not great for him. Some of these guys are definitely going to need a safety car now to get themselves back into the race.
JH was only 2 thousandths off his best first sector, but through this middle sector he's losing so much time. McEwen's managed to get himself up into 5th, which could be big for the championship. Sorry, I should say. Jib Jab.
Oh, we've got a yellow flag. Oh, so those inters are definitely not
JH has lost two seconds from when I last looked to now, which was only about 20 seconds of the lap. So yeah, just unfortunate for him being behind his teammate. He had to stay out already.
We got Brindy still right on the back of Kolka here, as he has been now for, well, a good half a dozen laps. JH has come into the pits. I think it will still come out in P4, so he hasn't really lost anything from doing this, apart from time. Although it might be tight with McEwen.
One thing,
hard to really say.
One thing that is worth noting though is no drivers sped into the pits, which is pretty easy to do around here. So fair play to them all, especially with the changing conditions. It would have been pretty easy to do so, and as far as I can see, no one actually did it, which is pretty impressive.
Oh, McEwen cutting a massive bit of the first corner there to try and get out ahead of JH. It's not worked out for him though. JH stays ahead, so he does keep P4, but he has lost a whole heap of time there. Clock as well has really benefited from this jam. Ranga pitting early and Reese changing his wing has allowed Clock to jump them both and get up into P6. He has got Riggsy though only 6 or 7 tenths behind him, so I think Riggsy will be looking to come back at him. As all these guys now setting purple first sectors as the tyres kick into action. Check this out, with a new front wing I'd imagine is looking pretty pacey at the moment. Southerners sets the fastest lap, but that will just be because of the tyres improving.
Well,
this guy goes onto the mediums, the only driver to do so. There'll be a stretch to the end. He'll need probably a safety car to benefit him, especially considering how far behind he is. So we've got Czech now right on the back of Guna. Czech's looking pretty quick at the moment, Jam. Not going to be close enough to go for a move this time round though. He gets very close to the rear diffuser of the Alfa Romeo. Is he going to have a look into turn 16? Michael Schumacher did 1 year and it didn't work out for him. I think we're just going to see the fastest lap drop and drop and drop as we do. 42 flat now, Brindy Boy. As Czech has a massive slide just coming out of that corner there, and he's lost a bit of momentum. Clock now with the fastest lap, and Ranga is just going to keep falling this fastest lap. Czech not going to be close enough this time round though to go for a move. Brindy Boy is right on the back of Kolka, getting that DRS and the slipstream down Raffles Boulevard, but he's not going to be close enough yet to go for a move on the Renault. Kolka locks up, goes D, just about keeps it out of the wall. This could give Brindy the run, and Tuma's out, Jam. He's lost it on his own. The leader has spun. He is out of this race, and that is not a safety car for some reason. Yes, it is. It is a safety car. There we go. That is big, big, big news here. The race leader, Ayrton Senna-esque, losing it on his own with a big lead. And, well, that is a mistake that really Tooman couldn't afford to make, as he was very much back in the championship fight. Should he have kept the lead? Kolka now takes the race lead from Brindy Boy and JH. Mercedes 2-3. Are we going to see anyone pit? Probably not. Bunny up into 11th now, so he's benefited from this as well. And really, this is benefiting Southerners as well, because Southerners is going to come back into play, and he's going to have a chance to possibly get some points here, and maybe even extend his championship lead. But McEwen in P4 looking strong as well. The only people this has really hurt, obviously apart from Tooman, is Kolka and Brindy, sorry, who had a very sizable gap to those behind, over 10 seconds to JH. As yeah, the top two stay out. I think most people probably will just stay out, but wow, what a mistake to make. Tooman sitting pretty out in front, and he's just lost it on his own.
Yeah.
I saw the yellow flags, and I thought something was up. I didn't realise it was the race leader.
Not only is that big for this race, that's potentially huge for the championship. I think that, I don't want to speak too soon, but that's going to give Tooman a pretty steep mountain to climb now for the rest of the season. I'd like to think, do you know what? I think we might see Southerners in the pits here, Harry, to put on a set of mediums.
I was going to say, if you're Southerners,
got nothing to lose, has he? He's going to keep 15th, so
for a set of mediums?
Yeah, he's going to keep 15th. He'll be on quicker tyres. He might as well do it. I would in his position, I should think, because they will go the 17 laps. It's just whether or not the pace drop off is that big that he starts going slower than the hard runners.
Are we going to see him come in?
Go on.
He's not. He's going to stay out, but I couldn't agree with you more, really, Jam. I think it was worth the gamble anyway. I mean, he's down in 15th, as you say.
I guess he...
So really, he's not losing anything by pitting,
I guess
nor is he necessarily gaining anything.
To catch up with the train, though, get himself back in the race, because he is still quite a long way behind. So, yeah, I guess...
This would have helped Jib Jab quite a bit as well, Jam.
Yeah, but he's so far behind, he might not catch up. He might not catch up, and I think that's why Southerners has stayed out, to be honest, because he's so far behind. He just needs to make sure he's in that train, give himself the best opportunity for points, because... Yeah, if he'd gone onto the mediums and then not caught up, then it would have all been for nothing, really, unless there's another incident, another safety car later on. But you can't guarantee that, so...
You may be right.
Yeah, make sure you're back in the train, back in the race, and you're giving yourself the best possible opportunity for a solid result.
I think typically the way the safety car works is it stays out for 3 laps unless everyone has caught up by the 2nd lap. So I think Southerners probably could have pitted, but yeah, maybe it was the right call to stay out. Or maybe he'll pit at the end of this lap and just to, make sure he's not on those tyres for a lap that he doesn't really need to be on them for. We've got Clock overtaking Rigsy. Or no, someone's dropping loads. McEwen. What's going on? Is that a timing glitch? Or
no,
it's
happened to him. I don't think anyone's...
I think McEwen's just spun.
I don't think anyone's hit him, because that would have come up on the bottom of our screen saying 5-second penalty. So yeah, I think he's just dropped it on his own.
Dropped 10 positions for, well, seemingly no reason.
This championship keeps flipping on its head, and there's still about 7 races to go, and it seems like no one wants to win it from the looks of things.
If you're Southerners, you must think Christmas has just come early there. He's seen his championship rivals crash out and then drop from P4 to P14 in a matter of minutes. It's fascinating, really. We've got Kolka out in front. He's not really had the pace, but she's managed to keep the Mercedes behind. Will she be able to do it for the remaining 16 laps?
Every time you think someone's gonna edge ahead in the championship, gonna get a good foothold for the rest of the season, they go right back down to square one.
And Czech's got a penalty for ignoring yellow flags. That's the other thing as well, Jam. It's a race that we're not going to be able to call, because I've seen so many penalties come up on the telemetry throughout the duration of this race. I really couldn't tell you who's in a net P1 at the moment. Jib Jab still 27 seconds off the back of this train. Southerners has just caught up to the back of it. I think we are going to see the safety car in this lap regardless. I think it's going to be 16 laps to the finish.
I hate to say it, Harry, but I think if Southerners had pitted for mediums, he would have caught up either way.
I think he would.
But yeah, I think he made the right decision. It just wasn't worth the risk, because if he hadn't have caught up, then yeah, like I say, it would have all been for nothing. But Yeah, just an unfortunate. I guess with it being such a long lap, especially behind the safety car, probably should have known that it would have been worth pitting. But nevertheless, he's still in the race. So, and yeah, his championship rivals now just appeared right in front of him from P4, as we say. So I'm sure he won't be too disappointed about that at all.
Are we going to have the safety car in this lap, or is it going to be a late call? Yeah, it is a late call. Safety car in this lap. So then, here we go.
Only halfway through the race as well.
First
Wow.
15 laps. And we're going to get, hopefully, another cracking 16 laps here. It's been a brilliant race thus far. So here we go then. Kolka restarts the race. It's a pretty decent restart, but Brindy Boy hasn't been caught out by it, although he's gone pretty slowly there through the final corner.
That's the gap for the top three
Clock
already.
as well has been caught out massively here because, well, he's 1.6 seconds behind already, as you say, Jam.
Rango and Lewis side by side. Harry for P6. Lewis trying to take it around the outside. He's going to try and hold that.
McEwen's got a penalty. McEwen's got a penalty, so things go from
Good
bad
move
to
from Lewis.
worse for the Ferrari driver. Lewis gets the move done, but he picks up a time penalty for his troubles.
Seven
now
has passed
Rango's
McEwen,
got
Harry.
Guna
Seven has passed
behind
McEwen.
him.
It's only for P14, and now they're going side by side, the two championship rivals.
Oh, we've got to look at this. Here we go.
Seven is on the
Championship
inside, McEwen on the
rivals.
outside. McEwen is late on the brakes, and he holds the position.
Oh, Summoner's seemingly had a bit of a lock up there, but he's gotten away with it. I think he's still having a little bit of a connection issue.
That could be crucial as well. McEwen holding P14
I think
ahead of
McEwen just hit the
Southerners.
wall, Jam. I just heard someone hit the wall, and McEwen looks like he might be missing an end plate.
I can't tell from the helicopter shot.
Aerial view.
I'm really struggling to tell, but I think you might be right.
It looks like his right end plate might be missing.
Yeah,
I don't want to
I don't
call
know.
it too soon.
No, it's there.
No, he's
good.
all right. He's all right at the moment.
I don't think there's actually been any position changes up this restart, apart from Lewis either held position to Rango or got past him. But either way, it was fantastic side by side racing between the two of them. Yeah, Sem saying Lewis having a great race in the stream chat. Couldn't agree more. From P15 on the grid, I believe it was. He's already P14 on the grid. He's in P6. Kolka second fastest lap of the race. But that was probably to be expected with the track now fully dry and a full battery saved up behind the safety car.
Yeah, Bunny running his ERS around that final corner, losing the back end slightly, but he's gaining on check. There's a really good battle going on in the midfield. Clock as well has already caught back up, so he's caught about 6-7 tenths there in that one lap to get back up to that top three. We've got, yeah, as I say, a really good battle in the midfield between Guna, Ranga, Czech, Bunny, Liam. It looks as though they're all sort of staying as they are for now. I guess DRS hasn't been enabled yet, and that might spice things up a little bit.
They've been using DRS as that.
Fair enough, I hadn't noticed it, so there we go, at least one of us is paying attention.
It's only 2 laps after a safety car restart, I'm pretty sure.
Ah, is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. There we go. You learn something new every day. We've got McEwen then in the Ferrari, right on the back of Predators in the AlphaTauri. Is he going to have a look of the inside? Yes, he is. He's going to have a look. Forces Predators to back out or turn out of the corner and give him room, but they're going side by side on exit. And Southerners is going to get a great view of this battle, so we'll go on board with him. McEwen trying it around the outside of Predators into turn
That's close.
14. Bit of contact made, and McEwen just getting the move done, and Southerners is going to look to try and follow him through here. But he's not going to be able to do it just yet.
I'm sure he would have loved to.
McEwen's obviously trying to make those places back that he lost from that mysterious spin under the safety car. As Brindy's really pushing Kolka now, just set the fastest lap, and in fact, there's a bit of a gap forming between the top two. So we'll go to Brindy now, as Bunny's picking up a penalty as well. I think everyone pretty much now has a penalty.
Yeah, I'm sure Southerners would have loved to have snuck past Preds there as well, but unfortunately couldn't quite do it. Brindy Boy, I think, is just a bit too far back to make a move.
He was looking good, Jam, but he went a bit deep into turn 5 and it cost him some time and it compromised his exit.
Could be.
And it meant that he wasn't going to be close enough to go for a move just yet.
Silly Bunny was literally less than 2 tenths behind Czech, but check with DRS as well from in front of him. Oh, we've got Jib Jab past Southerners, Harry. So Southerners appears to be struggling a little bit on his hards. He's
on 8-lap-old hards.
He'd already dropped off the rest of the pack a little bit.
Jib Jab's on 5-lap-old mediums. So, well, Jib Jab's on younger and, well, a more grippier tyre compound. So, no surprises there, really.
I'm not sure how many position changes you're going to see here unless someone makes a big mistake, to be honest, because they're all so close together. The DRS isn't going to give them any sort of benefit. Someone needs to either get a really good run onto Raffles Boulevard, or someone needs to make a mistake. Otherwise, I think we're just going to see a bit of a procession. Toomans finally left the session. Really bad luck for him, and unfortunately, he was having a great race.
Jam. I don't want to single him out, but I have seen McEwen's name pop up 3 or 4 times now, saying that he's got a penalty. JH has caught back up to the top 2 a bit, so this top 2 is becoming a top 3 once again, as Brindy's looking ever so close to the back of that Renault.
Brindy boy looks quicker, but I don't think he's not going to be close enough to make a move again.
He's got a better run out of turn 5 this time, but it's still not great. Kolka's getting a very nice line through turn 5, and it means that she's really not being challenged, as we've got a Ferrari
Jib Jab round.
Jib Jab. The Jib Jab round, that gives Southerners another position, but it's all for nothing because he's still down in P15.
Kolka just doing everything she needs to keep Brindy Boy behind. It's a great defensive drive from her so far, just keeping those lap times, consistent, doing what she needs to do to keep him behind, not making any major mistakes.
Bunny having a look at check into the Singapore sling.
Oh, as I say that, she makes a mistake.
Defending position well.
Goes in deep into the hairpin, but actually that helps her get a really nice exit. Brindy Boy looking for a move around the outside. This would be an absolutely amazing move if he can pull it off.
Oh, he's got it. He's got it. What a move. What a move. I just caught the end of it, so apologies for missing that. I was looking at Bunny, and of course Bunny gets past check as soon as I go away from it. So yeah, I missed both the overtakes there pretty much, so yeah, massive apologies for that. But we have got Bunny past check and Brindy past Kolka, so Brindy takes the lead, and I wouldn't be surprised if he extends this gap.
JH
already Kolka's lost another position. JH past the Renault, and it's a Mercedes 1-2 now with 11 laps to go. Mercedes 1-2, and clock is right on the back of this train as well. I say train, but Brindy's already over a second and a half ahead of his teammate. Kolka might look to come back at JH, but I don't know if she's going to be able to, as JH is already extending that gap, excuse me, to over half a second. Wow, that shows one mistake, just how much you can lose from it.
She was driving so well as well, keeping both the Mercs behind, and then yeah, just that, as I said it, just that one mistake, and then yeah, both Mercs able to capitalise. Already getting a pretty negative reaction in the chat for a Mercedes 1-2, although they are quite a rarity in SLR. But yeah, it was an amazing move by Brindy round the outside, absolutely fantastic.
Just watching this battle for P13, Zenna nearly hitting the wall in the same place that McEwen tapped it earlier on.
As can see tyres again, Harry, although everyone is on hards apart from Jib Jab, who's just pitted for another set of mediums.
Oh, and Southerners hits the back of Predators, Jam. Southerners hitting the back of Predators just at the hairpin there, and he might get the move now. He's got a good run on him down the inside. He leaves the room.
It's tight.
Predators might just get it on track. He pits him a warning as well somehow, even though he didn't go off the track, and Southerners does get the move done. So he's still got an outside chance at a point perhaps here. Southerners up into P14. Brindy Boy setting the fastest lap, so he's showing his pace. Clearly he was getting held up by Kolka, and the Mercedes now, they're really stretching their legs.
Yeah, that's an interesting,
going at it as well,
interesting observation from Sen.
Oh, here we go.
Top 4 is exactly the same as it was in Imola for the real life racing.
We've got a great battle going on for 7th here between Rango, Guna and Bunny. Bunny was looking at a move on Guna through the first 3 corners, but now Guna is going for a move on Ranger, I think, down Raffles Boulevard into turn 7, down
back,
the
surely.
inside, later on the brakes, gets the move done. There's a bit of contact made. These two made contact here last season on the opening laps. And again, they've made some contact. And now Bunny's up the inside of Guna. So Bunny gets the move done, capitalising on the battle going on ahead. So Ranger stays in P7, but Guna and Bunny still going at it here. Guna having a look into the sling, but Bunny stays ahead, and this has allowed McEwen, Liam and Czech all to catch up. So we've got a really good battle here going on for P7. Bunny now right on the back of Ranger. He's got a very nice line there through the hairpin, and he might have a look here down into turn 14. He's got the DRS, he's using his battery. Ranger defends the outside, Bunny late on the brakes down the inside. Ranger's missing an end plate as well, Jam. Bunny leaves the room. It's good racing between the pair of them, and I think he's going to get the move done. Is the contact?
Oh, I think that was
quite. I don't think.
I think that was just about
awful camera angle.
Just about within the lines.
What racing that was, though. Incredible battle there for P7 as Ranger losing a position and Bunny making up 2 places in a matter of corners. Very impressive driving from the lot of them. I think Ranger's pitting. Ranger's pitting with that wing damage. Oh, that's unfortunate for him.
McEwen getting the run on Liam, Harry.
Over without a safety car. And we have got McEwen and Liam battling out down the inside into the first turn. Liam tries to stick it around the outside, but it's not quite there. McEwen gets the move done then, so McEwen up into the points, P10. And I tell you what, Jam, Zenon and Southerners gaining all the time on this battle whilst these guys are battling it out. And in fact, he's still got a chance here, Southerners. He's still got a chance at a point or two, perhaps. We've also got Klopp right on the back of Bunny, Kolka, sorry. So Kolka's at risk here of perhaps losing another position. Southerners and Zenon battling out as well for P12.
Kolka not with any noticeable damage either, so I'm not quite sure why the pace has suddenly dropped off for her.
I think just generally she was lacking a little bit of pace compared to the 2 Mercedes and of course Tooman, and it's just meant that basically once they got past her, and it was really only from a mistake that they got past her, but that was all it took, and I think they've just sort of shown that they were a little bit.
Southerners going on the inside on his contact. I don't know, I think he was probably entitled to a tad more room than he was given there by Zenon, but either way, they both live to fight another day. Klock's still right on the back of Kolka within the DRS. He's probably going to be getting quite frustrated now because he can just see the 2 Mercs starting to stretch their legs off into the distance.
I'll tell you what though, Jam, we've had penalties left, right and centre here, so it's definitely not going to stay how it is on track once all the drivers have crossed the line. Checks within half a second on Guna, so we might see a move for P8 down Raffles Boulevard. No real signs of Czech gaining though out of turn 3. He goes in deep to turn 5 and he taps the wall for good measure. I wonder if he got a bit of damage from that, but he's got a really good run. Overspeed is immense on this Alfa Romeo and he's got it done. He's got the elbows out a little bit, forced his way through, but he's got it done, and he's going to help McEwen out here a bit as McEwen goes round the outside into turn 8. Brilliant move from the Ferrari, puts himself up into P9, and those 2 points could be crucial as Guna hits the wall coming out of turn 9, and that might have given him damage as well, although I've been saying that all night.
No, it definitely did. It definitely did. From Southerners on board, there was a bit of Alfa Romeo end plate rolling down the straight. Southerners also got past Zenon while you were talking as well, Harry. So Southerners up into P12.
Southerners has definitely still got a chance at a point then. If he can get past Liam and Guna of course having damage and Liam just up the road, it's definitely not over yet as far as Southerners race is concerned. We've got the 2 Mercedes, just an update on them. They're still out in front. They've got a pretty nice gap going on now, and they're looking good at the moment. As we've got Riggsy, who's running a pretty lonely race actually in P4. P5, sorry. P4 is Klock, to mention him.
He's got a lot more ERS.
And Guna pits as well,
Harry.
Jam. Guna pits as well, and he's retired, so that's unfortunate. Last week's race winner is out here. That wing damage really killing him off in this race. And Clock once again having a little look at Kolka, but just not quite there for him. Not getting enough speed down the straight to go for a move, and Kolka holds on to P3 for the time being. Ranga setting the fastest lap on that set of mediums. A safety car for Ranga right now would put him in a very nice position.
Kind of running out of time for one of those, so it would need to be within the next 2 or 3 laps really to make any considerable difference. They're also edging closer and closer to the lap record I've just noticed, which is currently a 37.9. Ranga just did a 38.2. So
who's got the lap record?
It is Alec 03 from season 1, from Division 1. I guess only a few people would know
that's
that.
one of those good one for the quiz, perhaps. Lap record that might not stand for too much longer then, given the way things are shaping up. We've got Bunny now right on the back of Lewis. So Bunny's recovered pretty well, considering he had a drive-through right at the start of the race. Obviously, the pole sitter. He's got the run. He's got a
he's going to do it,
brilliant line there through the final corner with the DRS. Wow, he's just flown past the Haas there. Bunny up into P6, gets the move done nicely there, and he's actually pretty close
Checking
to
the
Riggsy,
pits
so
as well,
Bunny
right?
could get another position. Checks in the pits, so Southerners is now in P10. So Southerners on course for at least 1 point now in this race. So, well, I'm sure he'd be really pleased with that, given the way his race had been going up until now. And in fact, he's quite close to Liam. He's within DRS range. So maybe another point on offer here for the Racing Point driver.
Check whipping on a set of softs as well. He's maybe been listening to us. He wants that lap record. You're backing to get it on the softs. Clock here has about 30% more ERS than Kolka. If someone needs to tell him that, if they can, just get him to get Kolka to use a lot of her ERS, and then it'll be able to make a move, you should think, with a big energy advantage. Although the cap's been about the same for quite a while now. Kolka picks up a penalty though. That could be big.
Penalty.
I know Clock will
want
this
this podium. That's the first time
podium.
I've seen Kolka's name pop up as well, Jam.
A Clock podium would edge him, of course, ever closer to that all-time points record. I don't think he still quite has it, although I'm not actually that sure how close he is. He can't be far off though.
Clock's generally pretty good as well at not picking up penalties, Jam.
And of
so
course,
depending on how the Mercedes are shaping up, Clock could actually be in a pretty handsome position as well.
Probably need to get past Kolka though to really take advantage of that. And of course, as I was about to say, a podium for Clock could keep him just about within touching distance of the top 2 in the championship.
Ooh. Bunny right on the back of Riggsy now. So Bunny's gained considerably on the McLaren driver this lap. I can't see Riggsy holding on to this P5 too much longer, and he goes wide. He goes in a bit deep to turn 5 there. Bunny's got the run, but I think he might be just too far back.
No,
Although having said
I
that, he's got a big amount of overspeed, and he's going to go round the outside at turn 7. Oh, what a move.
Fantastic
Very nice
move.
Bunny. Left the space as well for Riggsy for good measure. And, well, clean move and a brilliant one at that. Round the outside at turn 7. So Bunny up into P5. Talk about damage limitation after that drive-through, Jam. He's on fire at the moment.
To be honest, it could be a worthy drive of the day performance from Bunny. Obviously, the safety car helped him out, but he's shown some fantastic
stellar lap in quality as well, wasn't it? Oh, and Clock's past Kolka, Jam. Clock's past Kolka.
Oh, we've missed that.
I think Kolka's made a mistake coming out of the hairpin, and Clock is through. So Clock up into P3.
He needs to push on
now.
now,
I think
though,
it must have been a mistake
if he wants to catch the top 2.
Because Kolka was, well, Clock wasn't really close to Kolka. Hadn't really ever attempted a move. So here we go then. Clock up into P3. And Clock isn't out of this championship battle yet, Jam. I'm telling you. He's definitely not out of it yet.
My Bunny drive of the day claim is being backed up quite substantially already by Freeman and Beast. But we will of course have to see him, and Panther as well, but yeah, we'll of course have to wait and see how this final 4 or 5 laps pan out.
We've got battles going on all over the place, all race. We've got Lewis now 4 tenths behind Rigsy, so Rigsy might be losing another position fairly soon as well. And Southerners is right on the back of Liam, so as well for Southerners a really good drive in terms of damage limitation, because he could only be losing a couple of points to his championship rival as it stands. Liam, and I don't think Southerners has really quite got the pace though, because, well, McEwen's pulled out 8 seconds to Liam in the time that Southerners is going for a move now. It's taken him this long to go for one. Liam defends it well though, outbreaks Southerners and keeps the position for now, as we've got a Alpha Tauri in the wall. I think that's Predators.
Yeah,
And
he's
he's
just,
at the back
just spinning
anyway.
the final sector, so it shouldn't affect
Snuffing
anyone.
against Southerners, he's had a really good drive all things considering. It's not a pad track really, it doesn't favour the controller. And in fact, getting a few points considering he was dead and buried really after the first few laps would be a very good drive from him. We've got McEwen though, he's now joining in on this battle between Rigsy and Lewis, and he might have a say here. Before Lewis can get the move done on Rigsy, he might get the move done on Lewis. Has a look into turn 18, but he thinks better of it. It's not really an overtaking spot, but he has another look here on the exit of turn 21, but he's not close enough. And that's really cost Lewis time as well, because Lewis is now out of DRS range. So Rigsy and McEwen down the inside into turn 1.
That was from a long way back.
VRS move with the dive bomb, but less contact than what was made with Raikkonen in real life, and he gets the move done. So McEwen up into 7th. So after that spin, he's made up 7 positions here, the Ferrari driver. Very impressive indeed, but Lewis might come back at him. Although he's got basically no ERS, he's got the DRS and the slipstream. Is he going to have a look down the inside? It's late on the brakes again. It's a carbon copy really of the move that McEwen just pulled on him, and Lewis gets the position back.
Oh, Czech was 7 thousandths off a new lap record just then. I've been keeping an eye on him because I saw him put on the set of softs a few laps ago. And yeah, 7 thousandths off of that record.
Oh, yellow flag sector 2. Oh no, it's Bunny. Bunny's gone. I think he's made contact with the wall and spun. He's gone. He's dropped a few positions. He's dropped down to P8.
After
So that's handed
Sishko
McEwen
Bakuri
in a
as well.
position. And now McEwen and Lewis are going side by side. McEwen taking advantage of that spin from Bunny. They're going side by side.
Oh, he's gone way too
McEwen
deep.
late on the brakes. He's missed the corner. Surely he'll have to hand that place back, which he does. Respectful driving there from McEwen. He hands the position back to Lewis, who keeps P6 for now. But Bunny is right on the back of these again. Kolka's just about managing to stay with Clock whilst all of this has been unravelling. And this has really given Rigsy some breathing room, because he was under immense pressure from Lewis only a couple of laps ago. And he's now got 3.5 seconds to those guys behind. Bunny's missing half his front wing jam, so he's really going to be struggling here as well.
McEwen's gone. McEwen's gone, Harry.
Oh, McEwen's gone. Oh no. Oh, just as he's gotten himself back into the race, he's just spun. And Southerners is now back up into P8. And he's got Buddy ahead of him with half a front wing. So Southerners is now in a really good position to gain some points. Oh, it's all kicking off.
This is mad.
You're right, Jam. Does anyone want to win this championship? I'm not sure.
I can't believe it.
I don't quite know. I don't quite know what to say about that.
I think that
McEwen doing his best Seb Vettel impression, I think, in the Ferrari. He spun a couple of times this afternoon. That might be a bit harsh on him. So apologies for that. But
I think that
yeah, very unfortunate for him.
That spin from Bunny might have just swayed a few people's votes for driver of the day. As I think Czech does want that lap record, Harry, because he's pitted for another set of softs. So
I think Brindy must be a pretty strong shout as well.
Yeah,
for driver of the day.
It'll be his debut win in SLR, of course, if he can keep
Yeah,
it together for the last couple of laps.
I was going to say, I didn't think he's really shown this strong pace throughout the season. Although I may be mistaken on that. But well, he's having a stellar drive at the moment. Obviously, a couple of laps yet to go. Kolka is still there or thereabouts in the battle with Clock. So I wouldn't call this P3 for Clock just yet, as Kolka's just about remained in DRS ever since she got passed by the AlphaTauri. This is the closest battle on track apart from Ranga and McEwen, but Ranga and McEwen are battling for P12 and P11, and I think McEwen's probably got some damage. So here we go then. She's a long way back though, is Colker. And Clock's also got 30%, 20% more ERS, so it's not really that competitive. But, well, after an absolutely enthralling race for the first 30 laps, it has kind of died down at the end. The field's really spread out after that safety car. I'm hoping perhaps for a little bit of a break in the action.
McEwen,
just so we can get our bearings a bit.
Yeah, McEwen pitted as well, Harry. He's looking like he wants a shot at that lap record.
Yeah, as well, here we go then, Jam. Bunny really struggling with that damage. He's got Southerners now right in the back of him. Southerners just needs to bide his time here and be a bit careful because, well, given that all his championship rivals have been falling at the wayside, he just needs to make sure that he finishes this race with the points in his pocket as Bunny's making that Renault as wide as he possibly can. But he's going to get out traction here by Southerners. Great move from Southerners, although don't forget Bunny is missing half of that front wing. So Southerners then up into P7. It's been a really good damage limitation drive for the championship leader, who is inadvertently on course to extend his championship lead. Would you believe it? I think if you told Southerners that after lap 2, he would have, well, he would have told you what you've been smoking, I think. But here we go. The last lap is upon us with Brindy Boy in the lead. We've not really seen much of him ever since he took the lead from Kolka. He's got his teammate who's kept him honest throughout this race in JH, but he's a second and a half back and never really challenged him since he got past Kolka. Clock's third, but Kolka's still just about hanging on, although I think the top 4, top 5, top 6, top 7, top 8 are pretty much settled, or at least the top 7 should I say. Liam is now on the back of Bunny as well. Liam's got 50% ERS, so he's managed that pretty well, and he's also got a limping Renault ahead of him. I think this is going to be a pretty easy move for Liam as he goes to the left hand side with the overspeed, and he misses his braking point. It's not over yet. Buddy comes back at him, but he goes really deep into the next turn and he's struggling with that damage, but Liam just couldn't quite get the move done. And in fact, Jam, Ranga might have a look at P10 here of Zenon. But the action still continues. It's not over yet. Ranga on mediums, Zenon on old hards.
We're going to get that record here, Harry. Beats it by over a second as check, but I think McEwen might have something to say about this.
Oh, Zenon loses a car on the entry to the Anderson Bridge. And Ranga's going to get the run now down into turn 14. Doesn't get the best of exits though out of the corner, and it is Brindy to win the Singapore Grand Prix. I'm sorry I've missed it, but Brindy does win the Singapore Grand Prix from JH. Clock comes home P3. Kolka is 4th. Riggsy is just about to cross the line. I think he'll stay P5. Riggsy P5. Lewis OD crosses the line P6. Southerners crosses the line and goes up to 6th. So it's a brilliant recovery from Southerners. Bunny comes home in P7 after a fashion. Liam 8th. So Lewis drops down to P8. Sorry. Bunny 7th. Zenon crosses the line but loses that to Ranga right at the death. But there we have it. What a race. It's a Mercedes 1-2 as we're accustomed to in real life, but not in SLR. Brindy Boy from JH, a superb drive from the pair of them. Clock comes home in P3 to, well, keep himself in the hunt for the championship. Kolka's 4th, so perhaps a slightly disappointing race for the Renault pair after being 1st and 3rd on the grid, but it's still very strong points for them. Nevertheless, Riggsy comes home in 5th, another very consistent drive from him. Southerners P6, the championship leader, extending that gap out front with a, well, a really good recovery. As did Bunny. He had a great drive as well after serving a drive-through early on in the race. Lewis OD comes home P8, up 6 from the start, so he's had a very strong drive. Liam as well up 6, so he takes a couple of points home for the Williams team. And P10 was SLR Ranga after getting damage and having to pit for a second time.
I've got
but there we go. What a race. driver of the day votes, get them in the chat, please. The driver of the day from the game goes to Southerners, and I'll hand it over to you, Jam.
Yeah, Southerners getting a lot of the vote in the chat as well for a great recovery. I've got a bit more news on the driver of the day as well. The 36.9 set by Czech got invalidated, so I think McEwen ended up with the that record there in the end. He did a 37.8. He had a bit of a mistake in sector 3, which lost him probably 3 or 4 attempts. But yeah, I think McEwen snagged the lap record right at the end there. But either way, having said that, shifting the focus back to Brindley, debut win, brilliant drive from him. He had brilliant pace throughout the whole race, and a fully deserved win, definitely.
So there you have it, the top 3 all avoiding a penalty here. Very impressive from them. Brindy Boy takes the win, his debut win in SLR for the Mercedes team. Brilliant drive, and we'll hear from him hopefully in a second. JH comes home P2 to make it a Mercedes 1-2 here, with Clock in 3rd for the AlphaTauri team. Kolka's 4th in the Renault, with Riggs 5th for McLaren. Southerners P6 extends his championship lead, 8 points for the Racing Point. Strong recovery from him. Bunny as well, recovering well after that early drive through to take P7. Lewis OD with 12 seconds of penalties. He might be ruining that come the end of the season if it means he loses a position or 2 in the championship. But up from 14th off the start. Liam as well up 6. He comes home in 9th. Final points paying position is SLR Ranger in P10. McEwen, after a couple of spins, does get the fastest lap with a 37.896. And breathe, what a race that was. We saw action really from start to finish. Lots of overtakes, lots of spins, lots of crashes. But we did have the eventual winner coming for the Mercedes team of Brindy Boy. Have we got the top 3 in the party?
I believe we do.
Yes, you do.
Nice. Just make sure you got your boxes ticked, please, and I'll hand it over to Jam.
Alright, then we'll start off with our 3rd place driver. That is, of course, Sotia Clock. Pretty good race from you. I'm sure you'll be very happy with that. We saw the mistake early on with you hitting the wall, but a brilliant recovery after that to take home a podium and keeping you within touching distance of the championship. So if you just want to run us through how it was for you.
Yeah, the thing is that I didn't actually crash in the beginning. I was lagging quite a bit for the first couple of laps. So ahead of me, it was Czech. He crashed on my screen, so I just like stopped and trying to avoid him because he was right in the middle of the track. And then like a second later, everyone just lagged forward. So I was like, oh shit, that was lag, and I just stopped on. So it was a bit annoying, but at the same time, it was probably best that I was at the back of that queue when I was having some connection issues. But it seemed to come back to me on like lap 8 or something. So, and then after that, I feel like it was just one of those I usually do. I'll let the others make the mistakes, and I'll just capitalize on it and pick up the points.
Yeah, we saw you behind Kolka for quite a portion of that latter half of the race. We could see, of course, on the stream you had quite a big energy advantage, but of course you wouldn't have known that. So maybe a bit of frustration stuck behind for so long.
Nah, I wasn't actually bothered at all because she had penalties and I didn't. So I was pretty happy with finishing behind her. But then she made a mistake on the hairpin. I had no choice but to overtake, so I did. And it was the same as being ahead as being behind. So, which is, I guess it was a bit nice when doing it on track instead of on penalties. But in the end, it didn't really matter.
Yeah, well, either way, P3, another podium to add to your collection, and I believe you're edging ever closer to that all-time points record. So, good day at the office for you.
Yeah, thanks.
We'll move swiftly on then to JH, second in the Mercedes, rounding off that Mercedes 1-2, of course. Pretty good qualifying from you. You looked quick the whole way through, but then didn't quite go your way in Q3. But either way, solid race pace there again, capitalising on the mistakes from others. First thing I want to ask you is, how did staying out a lap extra when it went to dry affect your race?
I didn't expect it to affect my race nearly as much as it did. I dropped back, what, like 5 seconds or so from Brindy. I actually thought, when they both pit, I thought, oh, this is fantastic. I'm going to end up taking the lead, but apparently that wasn't the case. In the end, though, fantastic result for Mercedes, which is great to see. Great job by Brindy. Didn't have a single, from my point of view, not a single mistake all race. He dropped back a little bit at the start, but then came all the way back and won. So, great race for you guys.
Yeah, I'm afraid keeps happening to me. I don't really have much to say about your race. Didn't really have much much to see from you. I guess just keeping it out of trouble and doing what needed to be done. How was you did overtake Kolka, right? I'm not making it
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
In the second to last corner, she just ran a little bit wide. Give me just enough space, I got by her.
Yeah, because we just missed that on stream, but yeah, a few little mistakes from Kolka, and like your teammate, just able to capitalise on it and get a very good result in P2.
Exactly. Thanks.
Right then, last but not least, we'll move on to Brindy Boy. A debut win, I believe it is, an SLR. Great race from yourself. Had a brilliant pace throughout. And first thing I want to ask you about is that around the outside overtake that you made on Kolka to take the lead. How was that from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, on the hairpin just before, she made a bit of a mistake and locked up going into it, so I was able to get just alongside. So at that point, I knew if I was going to get past, I had to do it then. So open the DRS, click the overtake on a rich fuel mixture, and then try to outbrake her into the right-hander. I'm not sure what the name. I'm sorry, but I tried to outbrake her, and she managed to stay alongside. But then obviously, I don't know how, but I had more grip around the outside, and then managed to just get in front coming out the corner.
Yeah, well, it was a fantastic overtake. I know a lot of the stream chat were enjoying that one. Yeah, debut win in SLR. How do you feel about your race on the whole?
Yeah, I mean the start was not so good. I got a little bit flustered, and I had a few people sort of dive bomb. I think we were like 3 wide going into like turn 2, so I dropped back to P8 or something. But then I came back through, and I have to say I think it was a little bit gifted because I know two men crashed out, and that put me straight up into P2, and then I knew that me and Kolka were about the same pace, and then after I got past, I realised I was quicker. So yeah, good race overall. I know JH was trying to catch me in those last few laps, and I think him and I had the same sort of pace. But yeah, really good for the Mercedes team. So yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, of course, great for the team a 1-2, which is a rarity really in SLR. So also just like to mention you've been awarded driver of the day by the stream chat as well, which I have to agree is fully deserved. I think it was a great race from yourself. You were definitely the one of the quickest out there, if not the quickest.
Oh, thanks guys. Thanks a lot. I mean, Singapore is my favourite track on the calendar, so.
I think that does it then, Harry, for the interviews.
Alright then, so after a brilliant race, it was action-packed 31 laps round the Marina Bay Street Circuit. It was Brindy Boy to take his debut win in SLR, and making it a Mercedes 1-2 was JH. Sotty O'Clock comes home in P3 for the Alpha Tauri team. I'd like to thank Jam for being in the comm box with me, and all the viewers for tuning in, as well as the drivers for putting on a fantastic show. Be sure to join us throughout the rest of the weekend for Division 2 and Division 3 tomorrow at 6 and 9 respectively, and then Elite on the Sunday at 7. I believe there might be something going on Monday for the SLR birthday, the 2-year birthday for SLR, so if there is, be sure to check the socials for that. But other than that, we will join you next week for Russia, where the championship, it's really getting tense now. It's really hotting up. So I can't wait for that. Thank you all for watching, and good night.